Legendary investor Ron Barron has been right about Tesla since he started investing in the company in 2014. Since then, his fund has made 20 times on their investment, and now he's forecasting another 3 to 5x over the next decade. Let's hear what he had to say in a recent CNBC interview.
Everyone talks about competition in Tesla, right? Aren't they going to be, but even my wife says to me, Ron, everyone's going to have electric cars. Of course they're going to have electric cars. There would not be any electric cars were it not for Elon Musk. None. And so what he's doing that other people can't possibly do is that he is making so he's investing now in a plant that makes 1 million cars a year, about $7 billion. Every time he puts up one of these 1 million car plants, he's making $7 billion. It's costing him $7 billion. When they have that plant up, right, that produces 1 million cars, the gross profit per car is about $15,000. So basically, right now, so he's selling something for $50 that costs him $35. That means that every time he invests $7 billion, this is the most profitable company in the entire world. Every time he invests $7 billion, he's making $15 billion a year. Other car companies make 10%.
So right there alone, really simple terms. Every gigafactory they build, let's say, costs around $7 billion. That's a one-time cost. And once they get to a run rate where the factory is producing 1 million vehicles per year at a gross profit of around $15,000, let's just say average sale price around $50,000, they're making a little bit under than 1/3 of that in gross profit. So they take home, let's say, $15,000. It costs them $35,000 to make. So each plant, once they're at that 1 million car mark, is now making $15 billion a year. A $7 billion one-time investment yields $15 billion every year that plant produces 1 million cars.
For 8 years now, since 2014, made about 20 times their money, made about $6 or $7 billion on a $380 million investment. I think we're going to make 3 to 5 times our money again over the next 10 years. I am so excited. The next 10 years, I think that Tesla is going to be the largest company in the world. And in the 10 years after that, I think it'll be challenged by SpaceX, which could become the largest company in the world.
So Ron Barron has already made 20x on this position, not selling any, because they think they're going to make another 3 to 5x. So that would make his initial investment 60 to 100x of what they invested. Now, if we just look at Tesla's quarterly numbers here, you look at the third row here, gross profit, if we add up the last 4 quarters, they're already there. If we look at the automotive revenues, they're over 15 billion in profit, and they've sold just around, let's say, 1 million, a little over 1 million cars over the trailing 12-month basis. If we add up the last 4 quarters, we've got 4 billion, 5 billion, almost 5 billion, and 3.5 billion. So let's say about $16 billion they've made. So the math is already there. We just have to if we just project out, you can see what's possible here. So they're already making that 15 billion per the 1 million vehicles that they sell. So you add up the last 4 quarters of gross profit, we get more than this $15 billion number. So we already know what we're getting. In fact, as these factories ramp up fully and Tesla gets to ever-increasing economies of scale and higher levels of efficiency, right? They're getting better and better with each factory. They're more efficient. There's more robotics going into it, which adds, further efficiencies, decreased costs. This number is only going to improve. So this is really just a very base conservative case to say that you get $15 billion of profit per 1 million vehicles sold. What happens when Tesla sells 2 million, 4 million vehicles? They already have 4 gigafactories, which figure at the low end, they should be able to produce 4 million vehicles when they're all fully ramped up. Probably a lot more, as Berlin and Austin are the biggest and most advanced factories they've built yet. But let's just go, base case with that 4 million, 1 million per factory on average. So that would get Tesla at the current rate to 60 billion in gross profit. This isn't even factoring in anything else, nothing else, just cars sold, no full self-driving robo-taxis, no semi, no Cybertruck, no solar, no battery storage, power generation, no insurance, none of these potentially trillion-dollar industries. You get the picture. Just from the automobiles that they are already mass producing successfully. The future of this company is so exciting. And let's project out again at this very base case level. So Tesla's goal by 2030 is they want to produce 20 million vehicles. Well, let's say they only get halfway there. So let's say 2030 comes around. They've got 10 gigafactories. They're each producing 1 million vehicles. So 1 million. So we know each gigafactory, let's say, produces 1 million vehicles. So per gigafactory, 15 billion in profit. Now, let's say they've projected that so Tesla on the last call said that they're going to make 10 to 12 gigafactories, they're thinking right now. So let's just say they make 10 gigafactories times an average of 1 million vehicles per factory. So 15 billion times 10 factories $150 billion of gross profit is what Tesla would make every year. Every year, if Tesla sells 10 million vehicles, they'll make $150 billion gross profit. That gets this company to $150 billion in gross profit. Gross profit, not just revenue. Revenue, we're talking $500 billion here. This is just from the automobiles alone, $150 billion in gross profit. Just imagine what Elon Musk, the Tesla team, the most talented team with the best people on the case is able to do with $150 billion. Let's just for a second think about what the most innovative, the fastest moving company, a company that moves 3 times faster than Apple, and they were always thought to be the fastest moving company of the last decade. What could that company do with $150 billion? A better question is, what can't they do? There is nothing this company can't accomplish. With the most talented team and soon to be the most gross profit of any company on the planet, it's hard to imagine a future scenario in which Tesla does not become the biggest company in the world. Every year, the chances, to me, are just improving because they continue to dominate, they continue to execute. They're already at the forefront at what they do best, manufacturing, while they continue to innovate in ways no one else is even thinking about. You could really make the argument that EVs, the battle for EVs is over. I mean, it's almost like looking back at smartphones a decade ago. The battle was kind of over before it began. You know, you've got Apple, you've got a couple major players that dominate the market between Apple and Samsung. Even if Tesla only ends up with, let's say, 10 to 20% of the EV market. Now, that's going to be years and years away at the speed or lack thereof that the competition is moving. But let's just say Tesla only ends up with 10 to 20% of the market. That gets them that 10 million vehicles sold a year number that we just outlined, which gets them $150 billion in profit. What do you think Tesla's going to do with that $150 billion in gross profit? Let us know in the comments below. So Ron Barron, he's been right about this company since 2014. And he's going to continue to be right for the next decade. And when he's staying invested, I mean, that's pretty reassuring to me. So let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.